Hello, this is Laura, and this video is going to be about searching Micromedex and DrugBank. Before we get started, one thing I do want to highlight is that in order to be able to use Micromedex, you're going to want to have a working COD library card. If you don't have one, you'll see right here on this class page, right here, the place where you are. Click on this link to fill out this form, and then the information you need for a library card will be emailed to you. Okay, let's get going. I'm going to click on the Micromedex link, and this is where, if you're off campus, you're going to need to enter the database with your last name and library card number. The first thing we're going to do in Micromedex is we're going to click on drug and then type in the name of the drug that you're researching, and I'm going to go with azithromycin again. At this point, as you can see, information about the drug begins to fill your screen. One thing I want to draw your attention to is the fact that for many of the drugs you'll be looking at, including this one, there are a couple of options for finding information, and you may find that toggling back and forth between quick answers and in-depth answers will give you the best type of information as you work to answer this project. You'll also see as we scroll down, the table of contents is right here on the left side of my screen. And as you look down, you'll start to see that a number of the pieces of information you're being asked to respond to are right here on the table of contents. So for example, when I click on mechanism of action, you'll see that there's a really short answer here as to what exactly happens, and the database itself at this moment prompts you to go back to in-depth answers in order to be able to see more information about exactly what is happening. You'll also want to spend some time in Micromedex under the pharmacokinetics. And this is, once again, we're toggling back and forth between in-depth answers, and quick answers can actually make a fair amount of difference in terms of the information that you're looking at. One of the things I also want to stress about this database is that, much like PubChem, the information in Micromedex is assembled from a variety of really authoritative sources. So for example, if I want to know something about azithromycin and how it is impacted by gastric bypass surgery, one of the things I can see right here are the numbers 371, which are a link. When I click on that, what you can see is that this information is drawn from a peer-reviewed journal article titled "The Effect of Gastric Bypass Surgery on Azithromycin Oral Bioavailability." When I click on PubMed Abstract right here, Micromedex actually gets me a link to the journal article itself, including a link to the full text in case I would want to read it in order to be able to get more information. Now, I do want to stress that your professor and I are not asking you to read the scholarly literature associated with anything you find in Micromedex. That would be more information than you would need for this project. But we do want you to know and feel confident in the fact that all of the information here is drawn from resources like this, and it is authoritative and information that you can trust. Let me close this link right now. We're going to head back to Micromedex now, specifically the home page. Another piece of information I want you to think about as you work on this project is the other kinds of information you can find in this database. So first of all, that table of contents, one page back, had a lot of other really interesting information about how the drug is currently used, and that is, of course, all information you may find helpful. When you return to the Micromedex homepage as well, under Latest News, you can see the database is trying to pull together for you current COVID-19 resources, and I'm going to click on that link. At this point, this may be a goldmine of information for some of you, depending on the drugs that you're looking at. So, for example, as you look down this list of drug consults especially, one of the things you can see is articles about coagulopathy and thrombosis. So if the drug you're using has anything to do with blood clotting, looking at this entry in order to be able to better understand that would be a wonderful idea. Same thing with corticosteroids. The report that I want everyone, however, to take a look at is the COVID-19 investigational therapies, this one right here. So I'm going to click on this link right now. And the reason that I want everyone in this class to take a look at this report is that as you scroll down, one of the things you'll notice is that In the middle of this article, there is a list of potential drugs, the reason they are investigating why they might be potential drugs to use to target COVID-19. For example, we've been using azithromycin as our sample drug or example drug throughout this process. Some of you may have been wondering exactly why am I talking about this drug when it's an antibacterial and COVID-19 is caused by a virus. And you can see here, this chart actually starts to lay that out, at least for the viral drug. So as I scroll back up, the second column talks about the possible mechanism in COVID-19. You can see here it's not specified. There's also information here for current indications for the drug. Obviously, it's an antibacterial. It's used for various bacterial infections. And this is where you can think about the fact that obviously many of the COVID-19 patients are being treated for other infections that are happening at the same time they have this disease. Okay. So you're going to want to look at your class page in order to be able to discover how to get citation information from Micromedex. One other thing I want to show you is the DrugBank database really quickly. So I'm going to close this link and I'm going to head back to that library class page again. Okay, so some of you may discover that when you're doing your research, the drug that you're researching has not been approved by the FDA for usage in this country until very, very recently when the drug was identified as a possible drug to investigate for use against COVID-19. If you are discovering there is not much information about your drug in either PubChem or Micromedex, DrugBank is another really good source to use in order to be able to figure out more information about your drugs. So for example, I'm going to look at favipiravir, which is a drug that has until recently not been used in this country. And this is where you can see that there is a lot of really good information here about this drug as well. So name, type, description, structure, all of the information you would normally find in PubChem or Micromedex is here on the screen. I know the name sounds a little funny, but when you click the About link in order to be able to figure out more about this database, one of the things that you discover is that it is a database that is actually supported by the Canadian Institute of Health Research and a lot of other medical companies. So the information here is accurate, it's good, and it's absolutely another good place to look for more information about your drug if the other two databases don't have enough. Okay, that is it for these two databases. Please do contact us if you have any questions, and good luck with the project.